You can find almost anything on Google Maps, streets, cities, even your own house. But sometimes, if you look close enough, you might see something strange. Today, we're going to look at 4 eerie places you can find on the platform. Stay here. Nagaro, Japan, the village of dolls. Deep in the Japanese mountains, there's a small village that looks normal at first. Nagaro is surrounded by trees, quiet roads, and small houses. If you look at it on Google Maps, everything seems peaceful. You might see people standing in fields or sitting on benches. But if you zoom in closer, you'll realize something strange. Those people aren't moving. They're not even alive. They're dolls. Big, human-sized dolls that look almost real. This place is known as the Village of Dolls, and it's one of the strangest places you can see online. These dolls are not just decorations. They were made to take the place of real people who used to live there. Many of them are sitting, walking, or working, just like how real villagers would have looked many years ago. But the truth is, almost everyone has left. The homes are mostly empty, and the real village is very quiet. Years ago, Nagaro had many families living there. But over time, more and more people moved to the city to find jobs. Others passed away. The village became almost empty. One woman, named Ayano Tsukimi, came back to take care of her father. When she saw how empty the village had become, she wanted to do something, so she started making dolls. Her first doll looked like her father and was placed in his field, where he used to work. Then she made another one, and then more. Every time someone left or passed away, she made a doll to take their place. She put them in places where those people used to spend time. In gardens, on benches, in the local school, or sitting quietly by the road. Now, there are over 300 dolls in Nagaro. Each one represents someone who used to live there. On Google Maps, you can find some of these dolls just by looking around. In one spot, a group of them is standing by a small wooden house, looking out at the road. In another image, 2 dolls are sitting at a bus stop, as if they're waiting for a ride, but the bus hasn't come in years. Some dolls are even working in the fields or fishing by the river. One of the creepiest places is the old school building. The school closed years ago because there were no more children left. But if you go inside, the classroom still looks like it's in use. Desks are lined up, the chalkboard is still on the wall, and every seat has a doll sitting in it. There's even a teacher doll standing at the front of the class. It looks like a lesson is still going on, except no one is really there. People from all over the world visit Nagaro. Some come because they're curious, others come to see the dolls in person. Ayano still lives in Nagaro. She takes care of the dolls, fixes them when they get damaged, and keeps adding more when someone from the past is remembered. North Sentinel Island, the Forbidden Island. In the middle of the ocean between India and Southeast Asia, there's a small island that most people have never visited, and never will. The North Sentinel Island looks like a perfect tropical paradise from above. There are white beaches, green trees, and clear blue water all around. But this island is one of the most mysterious and dangerous places on Earth. And if you try to visit, you might never come back. The North Sentinel Island is home to a group of people known as the Sentinelese. They have lived on the island for thousands of years, and they have never wanted contact with the outside world. They don't use modern tools, electricity, or technology. They hunt, fish, and live in huts made from wood and leaves, and they defend their island fiercely. If someone gets too close, the Sentinelese usually react with force, by shouting, throwing spears, or shooting arrows. They want to be left alone. The Indian government has known about the Sentinelese for a long time. To protect both the tribe and anyone who might try to visit, they made it completely illegal to go near the island. No boats or planes are allowed to come within 5 kilometers. This is not just to protect outsiders, it's also to protect the tribe from diseases. The Sentinelese have never had contact with hospitals or medicine. Even a small cold could be deadly to them. In 2018, a man named John Allen Chow, an American, decided to go to North Sentinel Island. He was a missionary and wanted to bring his religion to the tribe. He paid local fishermen to bring him close, and then tried to reach the beach using a small boat. But the Sentinelese did not welcome him. They warned him to leave, but he kept trying to approach. On his final attempt, the fishermen saw the tribe shoot arrows at him. His body was never recovered. Even before that, there were warnings. In the 2000s, an Indian government helicopter flew over the island to check on the tribe after a tsunami. As the helicopter hovered in the air, a Sentinelese man stood on the beach and pointed a bow and arrow straight at it. The island keeps showing up on satellite maps. There are no clear images of the people themselves. The forest is too thick, and the tribe avoids being seen. North Sentinel Island is one of the last places on Earth where modern life has never been allowed in. No phones, no lights, no internet. Just the sea, the forest, and people who want nothing to do with the outside world. And even though it's right there on the map, easy to find, no one really knows what's happening on that island. What they do every day, what they believe in, how they live. Almere, Netherlands, the murder scene. In 2013, a strange and creepy image started going viral on the internet. It came from Google Maps, and it looked like it might be showing a real crime scene. The location was a quiet dock in Almere, a city in the Netherlands. At first, it seemed like just another peaceful spot near the water. But if you zoomed in close enough, something very disturbing came into view. A long, dark trail that looked exactly like a trail of blood. And at the end of the trail, near the edge of the dock, there were two human figures, one standing and one lower down, close to the water. People online quickly started sharing the image. Some believed they had just discovered a murder in progress caught by a satellite camera. Reddit threads, blog posts, and videos all asked the same questions. Was this real? Was someone hurt? Was there a body in the water? And most of all, why was this still visible on Google Maps? The image came from a public dock in a neighborhood called Beatrix Park. It's not far from homes and walking paths, but from the angle captured on Street View, the dock looked almost empty, except for that long, dark red stain. The trail stretched across the wooden boards of the pier, leading straight to the end where a figure was standing. The second figure appeared to be lying down or slumped over the edge, right near the water. Many viewers thought it looked like a body being dragged. Because Google Maps doesn't show video, only still images, no one knew exactly what was going on. Some people even contacted the police to report what they saw, just in case it was something real. The image stayed online for weeks while people tried to figure it out. It was creepy, unexplained, and incredibly realistic. It didn't look like a mistake or a glitch. It looked like something serious. But finally, the truth came out, and it was nothing like what people had imagined. A few weeks after the image went viral, a Dutch news site tracked down the people in the photo. It turned out to be a local woman walking her dog with a friend. The so-called body was the dog, a large retriever, and the dark red trail on the dock wasn't blood. It was just wet wood. The dog had been swimming in the water and ran down the dock, leaving a trail of wet footprints. Because the wood was old and weathered, the water left behind dark marks that looked red in the satellite photo. The people in the image had no idea they'd become internet famous for something they didn't even notice. Eventually, Google updated the street view for that area, and the image disappeared. But screenshots had already been taken, and the story stayed online. Gary, Indiana, abandoned city blocks. When you search for Gary, Indiana on Google Maps, you might expect to see a normal American city. There are roads, neighborhoods, schools, and churches. But as you move around the map, something doesn't feel right. Many of the buildings look empty, the streets are too quiet, and the houses seem like they haven't been touched in years. In some places, whole blocks look abandoned, as if everyone left and never came back. This strange silence isn't just in a few areas, it stretches across large parts of the city. On Street View, you can scroll through neighborhood after neighborhood and see boarded-up windows, crumbling walls, and overgrown grass. Some buildings are falling apart. Others are completely surrounded by trees and weeds. In some places, it looks more like a ghost town than a city where people live. But Gary wasn't always like this. In fact, it was once a very busy place. The city was founded in 1906 by U.S. Steel, a big company that built factories there. People from all over the country moved to Gary for work. The city grew quickly, and by the 1960s, it had over 175,000 residents. There were schools, shops, restaurants, and movie theaters. It was full of life. Then things started to change. In the 1970s and 1980s, factories began to shut down. The steel industry wasn't making as much money anymore, and people started losing their jobs. As work disappeared, many families moved away to find better opportunities. Over time, the population dropped. Today, Gary has less than half the number of people it used to have. The result is a city filled with empty homes and unused buildings. On Google Maps, you can still see churches with broken windows, houses with roofs caved in, and schools that look like they haven't been used in decades. Some areas have dozens of houses in a row, but not a single car parked outside. Trees grow through sidewalks, and nature is slowly taking over. Some people who explore these places in person have shared what it's like to walk through Gary. They describe the silence as heavy, the air as still, and the buildings as frozen in time. Inside the schools, they find old chalkboards, broken desks, and papers left behind. In houses, furniture still sits in place, like the people left in a hurry. Some explorers say they hear strange sounds, or feel like they're being watched, even when no one's around. There are still people living in Gary, and efforts have been made to fix parts of the city. Some users online have reported seeing shadows in some of the street view photos. Others say they've noticed things that disappear when you zoom in too close. Thank you for watching until the end. Let me know in the comments which place you found the creepiest and which you already knew before this video. I'll see you next time. Stay safe.